It is with profound sadness we announce the death of Pamilla Tisson, also known as Miss Pam, originally a Joie Belleville, who resided at New Row, Mico. She passed away at St. Jude Hospital on Tuesday, 15 November 2022 at 7:35 p.m. She was 72 years old. Left to mourn her four sons, Linton Tisson, better known as Duke, Clement Tisson, better known as Spa, Randy Tisson, Miranda Tisson, better known as Sandy. Her two adopted daughters, Shira Joseph, better known as Nicelyn, who was also her niece, residing in St. Croix, Janssen Augustin of Angers d'Erison, her grandsons, Dre Tisson of Mico, Maran Tisson, better known as Tony of Bellevue Vieux. Her seven sisters, Muriel Philip, better known as Vexilia of Joie Bellevue, Louisiana Wilson, better known as Valley of Grace Vieux, Priscilla Cranston, residing in St. Croix, Magdalene Wilson, better known as Lil of Joie, Jerita Joseph of Foncapeche, Peru, Gloriana Renee, better known as Bettilia of Grace, Martha Ferdinand, residing in the United States. Seven brothers, Winston Wilson, better known as Leroy of Opicon Vieux, Williamson Wilson, residing in Canada, Marcus Wilson of Joie Bellevue, Michael Clark, better known as Joseph, residing in St. Croix, Louis Antoine of Larissus Vieux, Livexton Antoine, better known as Sonson of Bellevue, Elford Antoine of Bellevue. Her nieces, Magdalene Louise, better known as Laureen, and Maria Philip, better known as Vern, and family residing in the U.S. Cindy Philip of Larissus Vieux, Joan Shern Ashdale, Barbara Philip, Bolivia Joseph, Nashika Wilson, Enda Renee, Sue Renee, better known as Manda, Elvina Renee, Celta Elva, Ola Joie Bellevue, Jermaine Wilson and Simone Charlery of Grace, Olivia Joseph and family residing in St. Croix, Dedrian and family of Castries, Jemima Victor residing in the U.S., Janella Polion of Deriso, Bernadette Cooper, better known as Marilyn of Babonneau, Ernell Phillip, residing in Canada, Sabina Furness, Cydrenia Furness, better known as Ginny, and Janelle Furness, residing in St. Thomas, Anthea Minville and Nella Mission and their families of England, Cecilia Neptune, better known as Cece, Ella Raymond and Danielle Raymond and Lorna St. Romain of Bellevue, Mandy Neptune of Cantonment Vieux, Wendy Wilson, better known as Queenie of Martinique. Her nephews, Oswald Joseph, better known as Ossie, and Dave Joseph, better known as Amos, residing in St. Croix, Terence Joseph, better known as Franz, Dias Wilson, better known as Onas, James Noel, Alvin Neptune, better known as Echo, and Lavelle Rene, better known as Brother, all of Joie, Sylvester Furness, residing in St. Thomas, Ryan Wilson, Dane Wilson, and Dickie Neptune and family of Grace, Sandy McFarlane, Prim McFarlane, Jess McFarlane, and Lance McFarlane of E4, Winston Joseph, residing in Canada. Hayden Philip, better known as Hazel or Yellowman, residing in St. Martin. Jarrell Bernard and Luther Bernard of Fort Capeche, Payroll. Zian Wilson of VJV4. Andy Neptune and Moses Noel of Cantonment. Ashdale Cyrus of Bellevue. Elijah Martha of Castries. Ezra Martha of Opicon. Joel Martha residing in England. Canaan Martha residing in Martinique. Mike Jean-Marie of Castries. Raul Jean-Marie of Pi. Peter Mission of England. Grandnieces. Yakira McLaurin, better known as Gilly. Brianne Douglas, better known as Pumpkin or Bree. Essenaya Joseph, better known as Naya. Kishana Joseph, better known as Kiki. Kishara Joseph, better known as Shara. Kamaya Joseph, better known as Maya. And Sunila Joseph, better known as Star, all residing in St. Croix. Nisha Furness and Zoe Prosper of St. Thomas. Merlika Philip and Fenella Philip and family of Joye. Alvina Philip, Curleen Philip, and Jana Philip and their families of the U.S. Leanna Philip and family residing in Canada. Covril Richard of Larsus V4. Abigail Wilson of Labrie. Cassia Fontenelle of Blanchard Darrisseau. Abigail Joseph. Amaya Joseph, both of Castries. Grand Nephews. Oswald Jr. Joseph, better known as Shaka of St. Croix. Sanjay Auger of Larsus V4. Dijon Cadu of St. Thomas. Corness Richard of Bellevue V4. Numerous cousins including the Antoine family of Terrevant Grace, the Marthray family of V4, the Charlery families of Hope Estate and Pero, Leota Marthray and family of Darrisseau, Janicia Les Morris, Average Marthray and Sylvia Edward and their families residing in St. Croix, Griselda Furness residing in St. Thomas, Lena and Clifton of Bellevue, the Noel families of Joye and V4, children of her deceased uncle, Plaston Ferdinand, residing in St. Lucia and abroad, children of her deceased cousin Jones Simeon of Bellevue, Edwanese Perrineau and family of Bellevue, Leslie Martha, better known as Arpin, and family of Bellevue, Muriel Aldonza and family of Bellevue, Aurelia Ford, better known as Rena, Moses Isaac, better known as Jess, and Prisca of Pero, Samson Aldonza and family of Bellevue, Judith George of Mico, Verna Fontenelle of La Pointe Monipo, Dickinson Simeon of Bellevue, the Saint-Amy family of Bellevue, her brothers-in-law, St. Clair Cranston of St. Croix, Ridley James, Boniface Rennie, George Elfedge, better known as Oni of Grace, Glenn Bernard, residing in the U.S., her sisters-in-law, Therese Antoine, better known as Adiat of Bellevue, Mariana Wilson of Opicon, Anna Mission of Goodlands Castries, Sabrina Carter of Canada. Also left to mourn are the Charlery and Tisson families of La Pointe Monipo, Matthew McFarlane of Black Bay, the parliamentary representative for Mico North, Jeremiah Norbert, her special friend from Mico, Florina, also known as Flory, of Martinique. Special mention of Mrs. Leonise Fossois, better known as Teacher Nenez, Wendy Kanai, Martha Emanuel, Veronica Leons, better known as Bibia, Charlene Lionel, Magdalene Ferdinand, better known as Madu, Esther Butcher, Tylee, Nurse Cordell, Nurse Martha, Lisa Evans, who was also her caretaker, Michael, better known as Mike, who was her adopted son, Lady. Special mention to the nurses and doctors of the surgical and medical wards of the St. Jude Hospital. Many other relatives and friends, both here and abroad, too numerous to mention. The funeral service for the late Pamilla Tisson, also known as Miss Pam, will be held on Saturday, 17 December 2022 at the St. Isidore's Roman Catholic Church in Bellevue at 2 p.m., and then the body will be laid to rest at the Deriso Cemetery. The body now lies at Lazarus Funeral Home, New Dock Road, V4. May she continue to rest in eternal peace.